Paris in the 1920s was a city of dreams and illusions. It was a glittering spectacle of jazz clubs, Art Deco cafes, and grand boulevards. The streets buzzed with energy. Artists, writers, and musicians flocked to the city, seeking inspiration and escape. But beneath the shimmering surface, a darker side lurked. The city's newfound prosperity attracted those with a penchant for risk and deception. Among them was a man named Victor Lustig, a master of illusion who would soon pull off one of the most audacious cons in history. Victor Lustig was born in 1890 in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a region rich in history and culture. His early years were spent in an environment that was both nurturing and opulent. He grew up in a world of privilege and comfort, attending the finest schools that Europe had to offer. These institutions were breeding grounds for the elite, shaping young minds with the best education money could buy. But beneath his polished exterior lay a restless spirit, a hunger for more than what his comfortable upbringing could offer. He was not content with merely following the path laid out for him by society. Lustig's early life was marked by a series of petty thefts and scams. These small-time cons were just the beginning, a training ground for his burgeoning talents in deception. He honed his skills on the streets, developing a talent for sleight of hand and deception. Street performers and magicians became his unwitting mentors, teaching him the art of misdirection. As a young man, Lustig embarked on a life of travel, using his charm and wit to swindle wealthy travelers on transatlantic ocean liners. These voyages were his playground where he perfected his craft. He would pose as a count or a baron, inventing elaborate backstories and using his impeccable manners to gain the trust of his victims. His aristocratic guise was convincing, allowing him to move effortlessly among the upper echelons of society. His cons were intricate and well-planned, often involving forged documents and elaborate ruses. Each scam was a masterpiece of deception, meticulously crafted to exploit the weaknesses of his targets. Lustig's confidence and audacity knew no bounds. He thrived on the thrill of the con, always pushing the limits of what he could achieve through deceit. He believed that the world was full of fools ripe for the picking, and he was determined to take what he could. In his eyes, every person he met was a potential mark, a new opportunity to showcase his unparalleled skills in the art of the swindle. Lustig's travels took him across Europe, from the casinos of Monte Carlo to the bustling streets of Vienna. He left a trail of bewildered victims in his wake, each one marveling at the audacity of his schemes. One of his most profitable cons involved a money-printing machine. Lustig would approach wealthy individuals, claiming to have invented a device that could print perfect counterfeit bills. He would stage elaborate demonstrations, using real money to convince his victims of the machine's authenticity. Lustig's reputation as a master swindler grew with each successful con. He became known as the man who could sell anything to anyone. But Lustig's ambition knew no bounds. He craved a challenge that would cement his legacy as the greatest con man of all time. And in the spring of 1925 he found it in the most unlikely of places, the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower, a symbol of France's industrial might, had fallen into disrepair by the 1920s. The cost of maintaining the aging structure was a drain on the city's coffers. Rumors circulated that the government might be forced to dismantle the iconic tower. Lustig saw an opportunity, a chance to pull off a con so audacious that it would make him a legend. He devised a plan to sell the Eiffel Tower, not once, but twice. Lustig had fake government stationery printed and sent invitations to 5 of Paris's wealthiest scrap metal dealers, inviting them to a confidential meeting at the Hôtel de Crillon. He posed as a deputy director general of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs, a position he fabricated. Lustig explained that the government could no longer afford to maintain the Eiffel Tower and was seeking bids for its demolition and removal. Section 5. Doubling down, the tower up for grabs again. Lustig played the part of the government official to perfection. He donned a suit that exuded authority and confidence, making it nearly impossible for anyone to doubt his legitimacy. He spoke of the need for discretion, hinting at the potential for scandal if word of the tower's demolition leaked to the public. His tone was grave, emphasizing the importance of keeping the matter under wraps. He gave each dealer a tour of the Eiffel Tower, pointing out its flaws and emphasizing the massive undertaking of dismantling it. Lustig's detailed explanations made the dealers believe they were getting insider information. Lustig knew he had to choose his mark carefully. He observed each dealer meticulously, looking for signs of vulnerability and eagerness. He settled on André Poisson, a man whose insecurity and desperation to prove himself made him the perfect target. Poisson's ambition and desire to climb the social ladder were evident. Poisson, blinded by the prospect of acquiring the tower's valuable scrap metal and the social status that would come with it, readily agreed to Lustig's price. The handshake sealed the deal, and Poisson felt a rush of excitement. Lustig, fearing that Poisson might become suspicious, quickly left Paris after receiving the payment, leaving his victim none the wiser. He moved swiftly, ensuring no trace of his presence remained. It wasn't until weeks later when Poisson attempted to take possession of the Eiffel Tower that the scam was uncovered. The realization hit Poisson hard, and he was left in a state of shock and disbelief. The story caused a sensation, making headlines around the world. Newspapers were filled with the astonishing tale of how one man had managed to sell the Eiffel Tower. But Lustig, ever the elusive phantom, had vanished without a trace. His ability to disappear so completely only added to his legend, leaving everyone wondering where he might strike next. Section 6. Tangling with Capone, a brush with the underworld. Lustig's audacity knew no bounds. He even dared to cross paths with Al Capone, the notorious gangster who ruled Chicago with an iron fist. Lustig, always looking for new opportunities, traveled to Chicago in 1926 and approached Capone with a proposition. He claimed to have a surefire investment opportunity, one that could double Capone's money in 60 days. Capone, intrigued by the prospect of easy money, listened intently as Lustig pitched his elaborate scheme. Lustig, with his usual flair for the dramatic, convinced the gangster to invest $50,000 in the deal. Capone, accustomed to dealing with grifters and con men, was nonetheless taken with Lustig's charm and persuasiveness. He handed over the money, expecting a hefty return on his investment. Section 7. Behind bars, the con comes to an end. 60 days later, Lustig returned to Capone, not with the promised profit, but with a tale of woe. He spun a story of how the deal had been sabotaged by unforeseen events, painting a picture of a man who had tried his best but was thwarted by bad luck. He claimed that the deal had fallen through, that unforeseen circumstances had conspired against him. Lustig's demeanor was one of genuine distress, a man seemingly at the end of his rope. Capone, known for his violent temper, was furious. His eyes blazed with anger and his fists clenched as he listened to Lustig's excuses. But Lustig, ever the master manipulator, managed to talk his way out of the situation. With a calm and collected demeanor, he began to weave another intricate web of words. He appealed to Capone's sense of fairness, arguing that he had genuinely attempted to make the investment work. He emphasized his own losses and the effort he had put into the venture. Capone surprisingly bought Lustig's story and let him go, albeit with a stern warning. The notorious gangster's anger subsided, replaced by a grudging respect for Lustig's audacity. Lustig's luck finally ran out in 1935. His elaborate cons and deceptions had finally caught up with him. He was arrested by federal agents in New York City on charges of counterfeiting. The law had finally caught up with the man who had eluded it for so long. Lustig's long and illustrious career as a con man had come to an end. The man who had once charmed and deceived so many was now just another prisoner. He was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in Alcatraz, the infamous island prison known for its harsh conditions and even harsher inmates. The con artist who had once lived a life of luxury and deceit was now confined to a cell, his freedom and schemes forever lost. Section 8. The undisputed king of cons. Victor Lustig died in Alcatraz in 1947, his legend secure. He was the man who had sold the Eiffel Tower, not once, but twice. He had conned his way into the hearts and wallets of the wealthy and the infamous. Lustig's life was a testament to the power of audacity, the allure of the impossible. He proved that, with enough charm, intelligence, and a healthy dose of ruthlessness, one could achieve anything, even if it meant bending the truth and breaking the law. Lustig's legacy as the greatest con artist in history is secure. His exploits continue to fascinate and inspire, a reminder that the line between reality and illusion is often thinner than we think. And in the annals of history, Victor Lustig, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower, will forever be remembered as the ultimate master of deception. But every con artist's luck runs out. In 1935, after decades of evading the law, Lustig was finally captured by the FBI. His empire of lies crumbled, and he was sentenced to 20 years in Alcatraz. The man who had outsmarted the world was finally brought to justice. Victor Lustig's story remains one of the most fascinating tales of deception in history. A master manipulator who outsmarted the world, only to be undone by his own greed. His life serves as a reminder that even the most brilliant minds can fall victim to their own schemes. Today, the Eiffel Tower still stands as a symbol of Paris, but also as a testament to one man's audacious con. What do you think of Victor Lustig's audacious cons? Could anyone pull off such a scam today? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories.